Oh, yeah, I'd be betting the Bengals to win the AFC right now because you're getting really good value. I believe 18-1. You're also getting Joe Burrow for an MVP right now at 18-1. And if he's a guy that can lead this team to the postseason and ultimately make a little bit of a run, I think he should be the favorite to win the MVP because of how good he's playing. Maybe besides Lamar Jackson, who's been excellent this year. But Joe Burrow, top 10 in passing, top 10 in passing touchdowns. He has just been awesome. And the defense is getting better and better and better. I got a stat here from coldhardfootballfacts.com, proprietary stats that help bettors win every single week. When you look at the Cincinnati Bengals on defense, there's a stat called bendability, which measures how hard a team makes their opponents work to score points. In week 4, the Bengals were 30th in that metric. They're now up to 15th. So they're getting better on defense, and they already have an offense that's playing extremely well right now. So if they stay healthy, there's no reason to think they're not only going to make a run at the postseason, but actually make a run in the postseason. I do think they get past the Philadelphia Eagles. Philly scares me a little bit. They don't have a lot to lean on here. The offense has looked inconsistent. I know they're coming off a big win, but that was against the Giants. And then defensively, I do think there's a lot of room for the Bengals to throw the ball on them in this game. So really would lay the points here with the Bengals, like them a lot at home, and I think they stay on the winning ways and keep marching towards the playoffs. So first off, I like Breece Hall over 30.5 receiving yards. When you look at Breece Hall, he's just been a receiving machine for Aaron Rodgers, coming off 103 receiving yards last week against the Steelers. I think the addition of Devontae Adams really helps him because that just adds another threat that defenses have to account for, and that opens him up to catch the football. The New England Patriots, I don't know what's going on with them right now. We didn't expect them to be good, but now everyone's calling for Gerard Mayo all of a sudden because he called the team soft. I think he's lost the locker room here, and they're also really bad against the pass. Like the Patriots defense is definitely fading. 24th in defensive passer rating, 17th in defensive hog index, and 25th in defensive real passing yards per attempt. So giving up big plays down the field, I think Breece Hall is going to be a big contributor there. Another running back prop that I like when it comes to receiving, Rachaad White over 22.5 receiving yards. The Buccaneers are depleted right now. No Chris Godwin, no Mike Evans. That makes Rachaad White the team's second leading receiver on the field behind Cade Otton. So the fact that the Buccaneers have such a monster of a running back room, I think Rachaad White's going to be involved in the passing game a lot more. I think they're going to use multiple 2 running back sets here and split him out a lot. Coming off a huge game catching the football last week against the Ravens, 71 yards with 2 touchdowns. And when you look at the Falcons in this game, they're 22nd in defensive passer rating, according to coldhardfootballfacts.com. The number one way for the Buccaneers to attack them is through the air, and they're going to have to get Rachaad White involved to do that. So I like those 2 running back props over their receiving yards. Yeah, I'd be going over 233.5 on the passing yards here. That's a great story to talk about, Kermit the Frog. I don't know why the Raiders did that. Maybe they thought they were going to be better than they were at this point in the season, but they're a very bad football team. So let's lay it out there right now. You have the Kansas City Chiefs. When you look at their schedule right now, I don't know when they're going to lose. They're going to be favored in pretty much every game, and they look fantastic right now too. They're finding ways to win without a ton of offense, but if I'm going to pick a game for the offensive explosion to happen, it's this one. Patrick Mahomes against the Raiders in his career, 10-2, 297 passing yards per game, 2.5 touchdowns per game, only has 4 picks in that stretch. So the big issue for Mahomes this season has been the picks, but against the Raiders over his career, he really hasn't thrown them here. When you look at the Las Vegas Raiders defensively, 20th in defensive passer rating and 22nd in defensive real quarterback rating. They do not defend the pass well. They don't defend quarterbacks well. Mahomes may not have a lot of weapons to work with. I know they just signed DeAndre Hopkins, but overall the weapons are more limited than in years past when he has faced the Las Vegas Raiders. But still, this is a game where I'd go over the passing yards, over the touchdowns, and you can take the stats out of it. Like you said, the Kermit the Frog stuff here. That's a reason enough to play this bet. Yet one more going with Brock Purdy over 239.5 passing yards. Purdy's 3rd in the NFL in passing yards this season, which is very impressive considering he hasn't used Christian McCaffrey once. The biggest critique on Brock Purdy has been, well, Christian McCaffrey's just a safety valve out of the backfield, and he's going to be good no matter what with Christian McCaffrey there. And while he hasn't been super efficient, he's still throwing interceptions. He's throwing a lot of yards, throwing for a lot of yards. The Cowboys look terrible on defense all season. I do think Purdy's going to throw a pick in this game, so if you want to sprinkle that, go for it. But he's set up to throw for a lot of yards here. Dallas's pass rush isn't that threatening this season. They've been horrendous in the secondary. And like going off the Kermit the Frog stuff, now it's coming out for the Cowboys that the reason they're losing is because of the tours going through the Star at their practice facility. That's not a good storyline either. That's bad. That means the locker room is completely lost because Jerry Jones has been doing these tours for years. So the fact that it's coming out now when they're losing, that's a problem. Their Dallas is 25th in defensive passer rating, 25th in defensive real quarterback rating, 25th in defensive real passing yards per attempt. They're giving up deep balls down the field consistently. I think Purdy's in for a big day. Even with no Brandon Ayuk now, I still think he can have a massive day throwing the football, third in passing yards against a bad Cowboys defense. Take this every day. Yeah, they got nothing to lose here, and I think Jameis gives them the best chance to win. Looking at the spread in this one, too, 8.5 points.
I'm on the Browns, yep.
I'm on the Browns here 100%. I think Jameis is going to light a fire under this team. He's the biggest motivator on this team. And also the Ravens coming off the short week, beat up defensively. So love the prop there out of you, but also would lean towards Cleveland Browns here plus 8.5. That's a lot of points for Baltimore to cover in a division game when they're going against the best quarterback for the Cleveland Browns.